Hey everybody, welcome back to In Bed with the Millennial. I'm the Millennial, Javeda Bay, and this is my bed. And since it is the last Monday in August, we are going to continue these anatomy talks. And today we are talking about the anus and erogenous zones. So let's get into it. First, the anus. We all have one, but I feel like we don't talk about it enough outside of it being like the poop hole. The anus is a magnificent thing that offers a lot of stimulation because the anus has a lot of nerve endings. And as we talked about last week, if you have a prostate, the prostate, which can be stimulated through the anus, is a great source of stimulation and pleasure. Also, prostate stimulation helps minimize chances of prostate cancer. So what? Why do I need to keep repeating this? But yeah, we all have an anus. The anus actually has a bunch of nerve endings in the ending. That's why anal stimulation can be very pleasurable for some people, because licking, aka rimming, or stimulating the anus by like rubbing your finger around it, all stimulate those nerves, which can feel good for people. But it's important to say that the anus, though it is a magnificent opening, is an opening that kind of leads on and on and on and on and on forever because it connects to your intestines. And that is why people preach left and right, up and down, scream from the rooftops about using things with flared bases and only things that have a stopper when you were doing anal play with objects, because it is a never-ending cavern of wonders and exploration that if you accidentally let something small slide in, it can keep traveling up your intestines and then you have to go to the emergency room, and we don't want that. So the key to this whole conversation about the anus is flared bases, stuff with stoppers, only things that should be going into the booty hole because you don't want to lose it in your intestines. And that's not to scare you, that's just straight facts. But that's the anus. It is a wondrous place that you can explore for the variety of nerve endings that are at the opening of the anus. It is a long, depthy cavern canal of exploration, whether that be through toys, through fingers and hands, whatever it may look like. The anus is miraculous. But please remember, the anus, one, is not self-cleaning. So if you do choose to do anal play and you don't want to deal with fecal matter, I would recommend that you clean it. And we'll talk about that at a later date. But if you're ever looking for resources on how to clean your anus before anal play, check out my website. But now on to erogenous zones, which I'm pretty sure we hear a lot about, but like, do we ever get into good enough detail? Who knows? So let's do that now. An erogenous zone is basically anywhere on your body that can be stimulated for sexual arousal or stimulation. So that does include your genitals, but we're not going to focus on it right now. We're going to focus on all the other areas that do not get their time in the limelight, okay? So let's do that. The most common ones: nipples and breast, chest, pecs. This area right here is an erogenous zone. And I say that because I would like to point out that, especially for chest and breast that produce milk for breastfeeding or chest feeding, they do not have like a singular sexual purpose. They actually have a greater purpose than sexual, but they can be stimulated in sexual ways. And so it is important to notice that the chest, breast, pecs, all this is an erogenous zone, and they can go even deeper into just stimulating the nipples. So that is one of the most common areas. You also have the feet, are a very common erogenous zones. Like if you get turned on and aroused when somebody is giving you that real good foot massage, someone is hitting your erogenous zone, my friend, and ain't nothing to be ashamed of. That's a good thing, and it's an easy one, right? You're just like, hey babe, can I have a foot massage? And it's like 10 minutes later, you're like, hey babe, let's go. Beautiful thing. Other common erogenous zones, you have like the belly button area. You also have like the collarbone area. So it's really important to pay attention to your own body and what different areas that may not be sexual actually create some like sexual arousement or excitement in you, because that's an erogenous zone that you can take note of and tell a partner when the time comes and you're like, hey, you know what really gets me hot and bothered? If you like just ever so gently caress my collarbone, or if you just like stroke the back of my neck just right, that's a money spot. So erogenous zones, they are an amazing thing. I will also like to point out that they vary from person to person. You may have been with someone whose like number one erogenous zone was the back of their neck, and then you move on to another partner and their number one erogenous zone is the back of their knee. Erogenous zones change from person to person because we all enjoy pleasure in different ways in different areas. So just keep that in mind. Something that may have worked with someone else may not work with a new partner, and that's a-okay. It's all a learning experience, and we love it. We enjoy it. We're lifelong learners here. So why would we not want to learn about new partners? Am I right? I'm right on this one. And then lastly, you can stimulate erogenous zones in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be your typical like massage or like using a toy on it. You can stimulate them by using temperature play, using an ice cube on the nipples, or using like a hot massage candle or hot wax on like the bottom of one's feet. There are so many different ways to stimulate erogenous zones. And I'm saying this to tell you, be creative. Don't just think, oh, I guess I'll just massage this area. No, talk to your partner. Think outside the box. If they're like, actually, I like a softer touch on it, go get a feather tickler. Tickle them, caress them with a feather in their erogenous zones. Or if they're like, I like it rough and tough, use your knuckles and like massage it in there. But no, that erogenous zones open the world up to a variety of possibilities. And all you gotta do is have a little bit of imagination and the world can change. So go forth, change the world, use your imagination in and out of the bedroom. But definitely come back next week because I'm very excited for September. Like, it's a great month for all new content, but also like it's a new month and I'll be basically, yeah, I'll be in 2 PhD programs. So I'm excited for what September holds. But yeah, come back next week, all new episode. Make sure you share this video far and wide. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and definitely check out my website. And of course, get your hands on some merch. But until then, I'm gonna see y'all later. Deuces.